Hey, what's up everyone? I made a video about this a few days ago. I made a video about some other topics, but I added this in there. Have you ever heard of Denver, Tennessee? This is the zip code and everything. It's off of Highway 70. I've never heard of Denver, Tennessee, ever. I seen a few days ago, this individual, I heard him asking for where Denver, Tennessee was, and then he was going to ask directions to out west after he got to Denver, Tennessee. And he kind of seemed like a strange individual, like he didn't belong there. He was just like almost like a roaming soul, like a spirit that was just lost or something. And he seemed like someone out of the past. He had kind of, I don't know, it was unusual. And he was asking for Denver, Tennessee, and I told the guy at the cash register, I said, I've heard of Denver, Colorado, but I never heard of Denver, Tennessee. And he said, well, I could look it up on the phone, but I didn't really, and then he said, well, he asked me where the restroom was, then he asked him where Denver, Tennessee was, and I said, oh, I thought you asked me the restroom. He said, I did. So he went to the restroom, and then he said, I've got to go, I'll be right back. And then he asked multiple other people. He just asked around. It's just asked around. He just kept asking people all kinds of questions, and they talked to him. He asked various people and various couples, but I have never in my life, ever, heard of Denver, Tennessee. My parents hadn't, I hadn't, and several other individuals on my channel who are subscribed to my channel commented, and they had never heard of Denver, Tennessee either. But there's all kinds of new places popping up for us, and all kinds of, with this whole Mandela Effect phenomenon, there are several new places that we've never heard of popping up. I looked up Denver, Tennessee, and I seen several haunted attractions, which made me feel like, that's kind of strange. He was looking for Denver, Tennessee, and no one had ever heard of it, and then he's looking, and then there's haunted attractions there. But now I can't find the haunted attractions. I see several runs, several events, like cycle events and or cyclist events, and several like 5K runs and things like that for charity, but I don't see anything else. I see Denver, Tennessee. There are several hotels there. It's in Humphreys County. I've never in my life heard of Denver, Tennessee, ever. You'd think it would have been brought up as a joke or something, or someone would have mentioned the smaller Denver in Tennessee. Never. Never have I ever heard of a town called Denver, Tennessee. Let's see if you can... Denver, Tennessee... Let's see, it's right off Highway 70. There's Reynoldsburg, Eva, Camden. Camden is just west of there. Waverly, Humphreys County Farm. But there's Denver, Tennessee, right near New Johnsonville and all of these towns here. Reynoldsburg, Forest Hill, right there where that black point is pointing, the arrow is pointing toward Denver, Tennessee. There's no description now. There's a Hampton Hotel near it. Regardless of how large or small the town is, I had never heard of Denver, Tennessee, anywhere. Let's see if there's any more information on this website. I went to this site a few days ago. Yeah, I pulled this up in my previous video. Humphreys County, Tennessee. Denver, Tennessee is a populated place located within the Commissioner District 4. Whoa, I just had a blackout feeling. Like I left my body. Oh man, I hate that feeling. Sorry. It's a minor civil division of Humphreys County. The elevation of Denver is 390 feet. Denver appears on the Johnsonville, United States Geological Survey map. Humphreys County is located in the Central Time Zone. Obviously. Central. This is Denver, right there. Denver, Tennessee. The town of Denver, Tennessee. I'm trying to see if I can find any more information on it. There's nearby subdivisions and towns. They won't list the population. But the fact to me is that it's crazy that it's a town, that there's a place called Denver, Tennessee at all. I remember one time I was looking at the map on online. I had just been looking up Native American Indian tribes, and I had searched this, and all of a sudden, as I was on the map, on maps, it changed to a bunch of native areas. And I was out in the vehicle at the time looking at the maps, and I got this weird feeling because the entire maps had changed. This is a personal story, personal experience. The maps all changed to these Native American Indian names, and it was just hills and valleys and everything. And it was a completely foreign type map. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that was a glimpse or a view into an alternate reality. There have been Native American Indians that had ruled and changed the names and changed the areas, and had that history had played out. Because suddenly it just switched back over, and there were a bunch of national parks and everything, and it just switched back over to a regular map, to all of the names I was used to seeing on there. So, and one time the map kept telling us the wrong way. Every single map that was telling the wrong direction. And Daddy was taking that direction, and we kept saying, that's what this says. And they all had the exact same wrong direction. We've had situations where Daddy told us an entire story that had just happened to him that week. And we told him it had already happened. He said, it couldn't have. It just happened, and I just met the guy this week. He met him on the road. He met this, they became friends for a while, and then he just went on his own direction, and that was that. But he told him a story in detail that he'd already told us. Daddy had already told us that story. And yet he was telling it for the first time. That version of him was telling it for the first time. Both my mama and I had said he'd already told that story. That was before I knew about the Mandela Effect, the ME phenomenon. That was before that was commonplace. But that was a definite ME. So anyway, so many things to talk about. You wonder how many things have happened in the past that were Mandela effects, that were changes, that were shifts. You wonder how many of these occurrences we've experienced were before we knew about the phenomenon, before we knew a term, before the term was coined. So this has been happening for quite some time. Alternate reality situations. So anyway, I just wanted to talk, and yes, the times we're living in, the Lord did say that several of these things would be happening. And it also states that all of these various things that are happening, several of them are in prophecy. But I just thought this was strange how there's a Denver, Tennessee, and I've never heard of it. Obviously, we've never heard of everything, but Denver, Tennessee was quite a shock. And my daddy's a truck driver, so I mean, you would think, and in the Pilot Travel Center where he was asking these questions, you would think they would have heard of that, and you would think Daddy would have heard of it, or I would have heard of it eventually, passing through that town on Highway 70, Denver, Tennessee. Never. I've never heard of it. Anyway, give your thoughts on this, and if you'd like to show support and help, my PayPal link is below. It's http://www.paypal.me/spaced-out-productions. No dashes, no underscores, no dashes, no spaces, just the entire name. So anyway, I love you all so much. This is Spaced Out Productions signing out with another Mandela Effect and more shifts. Peace.